What's up, guys? How's everyone doing today?
It's a bridge.
This is Richard Chicago, and I'm with my boy, Jay Baller. It's the Fantasy Football Lifeline show, presented by Shooter Shot Sports, and it's playoff season, and it continues. How did you do this week, man?
I wish I could say great. I got one team advancing that I like the matchups. Again, I haven't got hit with any crazy injuries. My big league, the league that I run, with all my buddies that I have to hear, them talking crap that I talked crap about last week, I went down 120, 125 to 123. Tough loss. If the Ravens would have scored a touchdown that last 2 seconds instead of a safety, I would have taken it. If it would have went to overtime, I like my chances. But hey, it was a fun year. Like I said, I wouldn't have changed anything. I got beat again the worst way. Close. You never want to get beat close. You'd rather get blown out. How'd you end up doing?
Yeah, I got blown out. It was bad. So, I mean, I didn't expect anything this season because it was COVID season. So I didn't really I didn't think I'd go that far, honestly. But my team was just like the Bears. I was hot. I went in hot. Then I just started declining as the season went on. And the playoffs, I just got screwed. So yeah, it was bad.
Been there. Hey,
Yeah.
At least I have one team going still, and that's the league I've been in since I was 12 years old, 13 years old. So it's going on 18 years. I haven't won that league in 10 years. It's been longer. I've been dating my wife longer than I've actually won a fantasy football championship. So I was hoping that would change this year. But hey, whatever.
Damn. What's up, Jimbo Slice? So we have a new sponsor. It's PointsBet. Let's get right into that real quick. That little talk. So
Awesome.
PointsBet, it's great. So it's America's fastest growing online bookmaker. It's a traditional sports book that offers customers more markets and rewards than anyone else. So right now it's only available in Illinois, New Jersey, and Iowa. But as more states roll out, we'll roll out to you guys. So must be 21 plus to play. And to play, go to pointsbet.com, order the app at the App Store or Google Play Store today. When you sign up, use promo code Lifeline, and PointsBet will match you up to $250 on your first deposit. So it's a tiered bonus. If you deposit $50, they'll give you $150. If you deposit $150, they'll give you $300. And if you deposit $250, they'll match you with $500. So that's a lot of money right there. It's a great deal. So you guys should check it out. Make sure you put in promo code Lifeline. Word were prohibited. Make sure you're 21 and over. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER for crisis counseling and referral services. All right. So let's get into this week. Playoff time, fantasy lineup. What's up?
Yeah, so if you made it this far, guys, congrats. Week 14 was a crazy one. You saw Russell Wilson come back into the fold as a top-tier quarterback. I think he was benched by the third quarter, so to get 4 touchdowns before then, you love seeing that, especially on the teams that are coming into the playoffs. Derrick Henry, he kept on rolling. We had the Monday night game. It's probably the game of the year, man. I had so much fun watching that. I don't care if I lost. The fantasy fireworks were everywhere. We had Miles Sanders turn back. He's had a horrible season behind Carson Wentz. Eagles look good. Miles Sanders was the fantasy player we thought he would be. Again, I was playing against him, so I didn't want to see it. But hey, anybody, any of the owners that have him, Jalen Hurts is going to save Miles Sanders' year, and he could very well, you could ride him, to a fantasy championship. We all knew people like Devonta Adams were going to be there. So hey, it's we're down. Right now is not a time to do a whole ton of tinkering unless you have to. I've had a couple of friends reach out that are in some, have taken some bad injuries here late. They've got Ezekiel Elliott as their running back. They're not sure. We got guys falling to COVID, and after last weekend, guys we were high on. McKissick, he put up 10 points. He was okay. Kuti, I think he had 1 catch for a touchdown. T.Y. Hilton kept playing. So the waiver's barren. So we got some injuries we'll talk about today. I'll fill in some areas where I think value is going to hurt. But ultimately, I think the biggest thing we go back to is the number, the top 5 things. I think if we go back to the things we talked about last week, start your studs. Don't get cute. Like I said, this is a time for tinkering. I know Ezekiel Elliott, unless you have an option where you don't have to start him, it's really going to be hard to not start him. It's one of those. That's how the league plays out. I still like Zeke. I have him in the league I'm playing against. I have 2 better options, Eckler and Dobbins. So I can sit him, but don't think that you have to own the running back handcuffs. Just hey, we don't know what's going to happen with Derrick Henry. I think McNichols is going to be his backup. Don't know what's happening with Dalvin Cook. Hey, Madison's his backup. We've talked about it all year. Help yourself, hedge your bets. Again, you don't need, after this weekend, there's only 2 guys vying for people on the waiver wire, and it's not likely that a person you drop is going to be taken and started by the other team. So know the matchups as we talked about. If you have a good matchup, try to play on it. The Texans defense has been absolutely awful. You got the Bengals haven't been great. The Giants D hasn't been great. The Jets D hasn't been great. If it's middle of the road, hey, the Ravens defense gave up 42 points, so that's not a defense I'm not worried about. The Steelers defense, they're pretty good, but Josh Allen still was able to get some stuff done on Monday, on Sunday night. So there's not a ton of defenses I'm shying away from, but and the Saints hadn't given up a 100-yard rusher since like week 2 or 3. Miles Sanders goes off. I think that Miles Sanders and Jalen Hurts both had 100 yards rushing. So, guys, you never know. But no, look at the matchups. If it's something that can benefit you, make sure you double check it. Double check the weather. We have the kickers. It's never more important than this week. We're getting deeper into December. I'm looking. I got some guys going in Denver this weekend. It's going to be 50 degrees, beautiful, sunny. That's perfect for a kicker. But hey, Denver always gets snow. Buffalo always gets snow. The Northeast, New England. Make sure you're double checking. And we just got we got our first. I woke up to a dusting here in Chicago, so it's heading out east. Just double check the line and make sure that your guy's not kicking. And torrential downpour, snow, a bunch of wind. Hey, the waiver wire, play strategically. If you know that there's a good defense out there and your opponent needs a good defense, and you have the better waiver claim, I would go take that defense because I allowed my opponent this week to go ahead and add the Dallas Cowboys defense. I was always like, Cowboys defense, take them. They've been awful all year. Of course, they put up 20. Again, when you lose by 2 and the defense puts up 20, it hurts. It hurts when you could have had them and you thought about it. But hey, know that it can benefit you. And again, you can't. You got 1 week left. There's 4 people likely still playing, and it's going to be down to 2 next week. It's a barren pool right now. So I got a couple things we'll talk about, from a waiver wire standpoint. But yeah, that's what we're working with now, man.
Cool. So we got some breaking news, some COVID breaking news. Marquis Brown and Ronald Jones are both going into the COVID list. So where should people be on the panic meter if they have these guys and other injury updates you have out there?
Unfortunately, and Marquis Brown had a pretty solid night. He got back into the end zone. That Ravens team that we saw Monday was the team I was expecting to see most of the year. I was pretty high on Marquis Brown coming in. High on Andrews, high on Dobbins. We saw Ingram didn't even suit up. So I really do think it helps the people like Mark Andrews. I don't see Dez is going to come in there. Willie Snead's going to come in there. They'll get touches, but there's not going to be plays drawn up for those guys. I like it. It's going to increase Andrews. His position again. He was already a tight end. You were starting no matter what. It's going to increase Dobbins. I think we see Dobbins maybe work out of the slot a little bit. And Gus Edwards, the guy that really looks good in the passing game for the Ravens on Monday night. I don't think it. I'm not saying I'm to add Gus Edwards. If you want to throw a Hail Mary and maybe, but I think it helps Andrews. I think it might help Dobbins a little bit. It doesn't hurt Lamar Jackson. He runs and throws. It doesn't matter, but not likely starting him in too many leagues. Maybe flexing him if you absolutely had to. The Ronald Jones one is the one I think that is the craziest because we're going to get to see a full boat of action from Leonard Fournette for the first time all year. He split carries with Ronald Jones all year. So if Leonard Fournette's out there, you go out and get him because I don't know what's going to happen. And I don't want to be on the other side of that when he goes off because he's the number one guy. Everybody know if you follow Leonard Fournette's career, he's a guy that likes to be the guy. He doesn't like to share the load. He doesn't like to share the limelight. You know, he doesn't come off like the Chad Ochocinco's. He doesn't mouth it, but he wants to be the guy. When he's the guy and he's getting the touches, he's usually pretty good. And he's also better in warm weather. And I believe the Buccaneers are playing at home. So a lot of factors going in there with Leonard Fournette. Don't love the guy when the temperature drops below 40. If this was last year, that was my big take last year. I don't like Fournette when the temperature gets down, but I think he could benefit a lot from this. And over the next 2 weeks, especially if it becomes like the 10-day thing, Fournette could be starting. He could win a championship for you next week. So I'm not saying he's available. I have a league where I own him. I'm gonna probably keep him on my bench, see what happens for next week if I'm still playing. But he's a great option if you need a running back going into to next week. So other injuries, I'll kind of start from the top, work my way down. We got Matthew Stafford was banged up late. That really scares me because the Lions really aren't playing for much. Stafford's a guy that's been known to play through injuries in the past, though. He's a gamer, so you might have been starting Stafford. I think there's some good other options out there. Baker Mayfield, Drew Lock, and Jalen Hurts, guys that are going to get you about the same production you were expecting out of Stafford this week. I think it really hurts guys like T.J. Hawkinson. I think it knocks him down maybe 4 or 5 rungs on that list, the tight end ranking list. I think that to the Kenny Galladay, he's not there. If Stafford's not playing, there's no way he's playing. I think it hurts DeAndre Swift. He's good out of the backfield and the passing game. So if Stafford doesn't play, I don't think I'm starting Marvin Jones, Hawkinson if I have to, but I'm not starting Marvin Jones. I'm probably not starting DeAndre Swift. So running backs, guys, we've talked about it all year. McCaffrey, limited participant. I don't see him going out. I don't see him playing. He's the franchise player, and he's banged up again. I'm gonna ride with he's extremely doubtful, and I don't see him coming back. James Conner, he's a guy, again, keep an eye out. He's questionable. I don't think Benny Snell's worth owning or starting just because that run offense has been awful all year. They're in Pittsburgh. Melvin Gordon got banged up. It's actually trending in the wrong direction for Melvin Gordon based on, I don't think he practiced today or one of the reports I read. I read so many. But if he doesn't play, Phillip Lindsay becomes a really viable RB2. I think there's going to be a shootout out there. Allen and Drew Lock, couple of big arms. Saturday afternoon, we got some Saturday football this weekend. Saturday afternoon, we got the Bills and Broncos in a beautiful 50-degree Saturday day. That's going to be a fun game. I think that Phillip Lindsay might be okay. Might be okay to start if you need him, if you have him, especially in the flex. Mostert, again, guy that's been banged up all year, hasn't really got that right yet. He's trending in the wrong direction. They said the MRI's out, but we know there's a plethora of running backs there in San Francisco. If Mostert doesn't play, Jeff Wilson is a must start. I think that he was starting to take over. He looked better, had a little bit more explosiveness. But if he's the guy in San Francisco in that offense, especially with Deebo Samuel, looks like he's going to be out again. I like Jeff Wilson a lot, and I'm starting him no matter what. And that's might be a hot take, but I'm starting Jeff Wilson no matter what. And then the last one, this one's a bummer. Myles Gaskin was a late COVID addition this last weekend. The running back, it's dire. I don't think Breida's going to be able to play either. A name that I want you to keep an eye on, and if you are ballsy and want to take a shot, Lynn Bowden is likely going to be the main guy there in Miami this weekend from a playmaking ability. Parker doesn't look like he's playing. Doesn't look like Jakeem Grant's playing. Doesn't look like Jasicki's playing. Lynn Bowden, guy, he's a rookie, but he's been around the league. He finally found a home in Miami, and he's in your leagues. You can start him as a running back or wide receiver. So he's a great guy to add and pick up. I think he's going to get 20 touches, and they're going to need to move the ball down the field somehow. So Lynn Bowden, I'm going to say it now. I think if I needed him or I wanted to protect myself, I would find a spot on my roster for Lynn Bowden just because I'm afraid he could have one of those days. Hey, he might not, but when you're going to be the guy getting all the touches and he has the ability, it can get scary. If those guys are on the waiver wire, you got if I were to rank these guys, I would say Philip Lindsay's probably going to be first for me, and then I'm going to go. You know what? I'm going to go Jeff Wilson if he's out there. Jeff Wilson's number 1, Philip Lindsay number 2, Lynn Bowden number 3, and then if I absolutely have to, Benny Snell. But I would say if Jeff Wilson's out, he's my number 1 out on the waiver wire this week. Aside from a couple of the wide receivers if you're having to fill in a spot last second. But waiver wire claim, Jeff Wilson, Philip Lindsay going to move to the top of the list. From a wide receiver standpoint, Julio Jones, guys, we know we're not going to know until Sunday. They did let us know on Friday, which was nice last week, so I was able to start planning ahead of time. I'm adding Russell Gage. Russell Gage has been great in the games that Julio Jones hasn't played. As we know, the Falcons play from behind about the whole time. They're going to be it's a pass offense. They're not playing for anything. It's got fantasy, it's got perfect fantasy player written all over it. If Julio doesn't play, I have no problem slipping Russell Gage in there, expecting to get 12 to 15. Devonta Parker, like I said just a minute ago, he's trending in the wrong direction. Kuti was really up against some of the top Bears defensive backs last week, had a tough matchup. Both those guys are flexible coming into this week. And then Deebo Samuel, as I mentioned, he's out. It looks like he's going to be out. I don't think he's been formally removed. But if you have Ayuk, I'm starting Ayuk if I have Ayuk. He's moving into my flex. Wide receiver 2 maybe. I like him. I like how they give him the touches, especially if it's looking like Deebo Samuel and Raheem Mostert are out. We're going to get a much higher dose of Jeff Wilson and Brandon Ayuk, and that points to great fantasy production in a middling offense going against the worst defense in football, the Dallas Cowboys. So I like that. I like that. That's why I wanted Mostert on my team. That's why I kept him on my team the whole year, for him to go up against the Cowboys. And of course, I didn't make it. So hey, you kind of shoot yourself in the foot. But Jeff Wilson, Brandon Ayuk, I think you're gonna have excellent weekends there in Dallas. On the tight end front, mentioned it a little minute ago, Mike Gesicki, he took a fall. I could have swore I thought he broke his collarbone. Doesn't look like it. Looks like it's just a shoulder injury. They're not saying anything. They don't have to until Sunday. I don't expect him to play. Plan for a backup there. I like Jordan Reed in Dallas. As a Dallas fan, I've watched Jordan Reed torch Dallas a number of times while he played with the Redskins. The Washington football team, formerly the Redskins. I like the matchup again with Deebo Samuel out. I think it adds another pair of hands out there. He didn't have the touches. Again, this is me. It's a great matchup. If you have to throw a tight end out there, you're not sure who to go. He could go for 2 points, guys, but he could also go for 22. So that's likely the direction I'm going if I have to. But yeah, that's where it stands. It's all I got for Week 15, Rich. I wish everybody the best of luck. Excited to have points bet on board. I'll be back next week for a championship prep. I'll give out rankings. Any updates, anything needed. Might start seeing some guys sitting. I don't know, but and some of the things I've seen from years past, Week 16s, to try to prevent where there's a tipper here or there might help you win. So have a great rest of your Wednesday. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next week, Rich.
All right, guys. See ya.